I'm delighted to have this opportunity to thank the people of Flanders, and especially Ypres and members of the Last Post Association, for continuing to honor the sacrifice of our fallen.
A 90-year-old man who has lived inside the palace for 60 years just broke his silence, and he has a message for Queen Camilla that she never expected. For decades, he was the most quiet and loyal member of the family, but now he has made a secret decision about a treasure worth millions of dollars that has left the king's office in a total panic. He has finally confessed who should get his famous jewelry, and his choice is not the person sitting on the throne. Here at Behind the Royal Veil, we have uncovered the truth about this hidden battle for the crown jewels. You will want to stay until the very end because this choice changes the future of the monarchy forever, and the reason behind it is something the palace tried to keep secret for a long time. Before we get into the mystery of the Russian diamonds and the fight between the two most famous women in the world, please take a second to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. By joining us here at Behind the Royal Veil, you are making sure you never miss a secret from inside the palace walls. We are growing so fast because of viewers like you, so thank you for being part of our royal family. To understand why everyone is talking about this, you have to know about the man in the middle of it all. His name is Prince Edward, the Duke of Kent. He is very old, almost 90 years old now. For a very long time, he has been the person the royal family trusts the most. He has served the crown for over 60 years without ever causing a problem or getting into trouble. He is a very high-ranking soldier and has been the leader of a secret group called the Freemasons for a long, long time. Most people don't even know how much power he has. For over 50 years, he was the person you saw on TV at the Wimbledon tennis matches. He was the one who walked onto the grass and gave the shiny gold trophies to the winners like Serena Williams and Roger Federer. He did this over 350 times. He almost never missed a year. But the most important thing about him is that he is the last person still alive who was around when King George V was the king. He is the first cousin of the late Queen Elizabeth. In the year 2022, when the Queen stood on her balcony for the last time without her husband, the Duke of Kent was the only person standing right next to her. He was her best friend and her most loyal helper. Now let's talk about his wife, Catherine. She was a very special lady. She wasn't born a princess. She was a regular person just like us. In fact, she was the first person without a fancy title to marry into the family in 100 years. The Duke's mother didn't want them to get married at first and said no 2 times. But Catherine was brave. She once took a long bus ride all the way across Canada by herself just to wait for the man she loved to fight for her. And he did. They got married in a giant church in 1961, and 8 million people watched them on TV. But Catherine didn't act like a fancy duchess. She did things that no other royal has ever done. For many years, she drove a long way every single week to a small school to teach music to little kids. Nobody at the school knew she was a royal. She didn't use her title. She just told the kids and parents to call her Mrs. Kent. She also spent her time answering phone calls for people who were very sad and lonely, helping them without ever telling them who she was. She even helped start a group to give musical instruments to poor children who couldn't afford them. But life wasn't always easy for her. In 1977, she had a very sad thing happen. She lost her baby right before it was born. Back then, royals were told to be quiet about their feelings, but Catherine was the first one to speak out. She told everyone she was very sad and had a hard time with her mental health. This was a very big deal because no royal had ever been that honest before. Then in 1994, she did something even more surprising. She changed her religion to become a Catholic. She was the first person in the top of the royal family to do that in over 300 years. She said she did it because she met a very kind man who showed her how to be humble and help others. When she passed away peacefully in September of 2025 at the age of 92, the Duke was very sad. They had been married for 64 years. After she died, people started whispering about what would happen to her famous jewelry. And that is when the Duke made his big confession that shocked the palace. To understand why people are fighting over this jewelry, you have to know where it came from. These aren't just pretty necklaces you can buy at a store. They are like a history book made of diamonds. The story starts a long time ago in Russia. There was a very rich lady named Grand Duchess Maria. She had the most beautiful jewelry in the whole Russian Empire. But then, a big revolution happened and things got very dangerous. Her son and a British man had to come up with a secret plan to save the treasure. They dressed up like workers so the guards wouldn't see them. They broke into a giant palace and stuffed the diamonds and sapphires into old brown bags. They moved them to London and hid them in a safe box. There were 224 pieces of jewelry that escaped the revolution. These jewels were passed down through the family until they reached Princess Marina, who was the Duke of Kent's mother. She brought them to England when she married into the Windsor family in 1934. She was so famous and stylish that people even named a color after her called Marina Blue. The most important piece of jewelry is called the Cambridge sapphires. It is a whole set of blue stones and diamonds that is almost 200 years old. When Marina died, the family had to sell some of the jewelry to pay for things. One piece was sold for almost $1 million. Even some earrings that used to be in a Russian palace are now owned by famous people like Kim Kardashian. But the Duke still has some of the best pieces left, like a beautiful pearl tiara. These items are worth more than just money. They are a link to a world that doesn't exist anymore. Whoever gets them will be in charge of a big piece of history. And according to people who work at the palace, the Duke has made a very clear choice about who should have them. He reportedly said he wants the jewelry to go to Catherine, the Princess of Wales, and not to Queen Camilla. This choice is a huge deal. The Duke of Kent has spent his whole life following the rules. For him to speak out and say he wants someone specific to have the jewelry is like a giant earthquake inside the palace walls. He chose Princess Catherine because she has been through so much lately. In 2024, she told the world she had cancer. She was very brave and told everyone she was getting stronger every day. When she finally came back to see a tennis match at Wimbledon, everyone stood up and cheered for her. It was a very emotional moment. She was honest about how hard it was to be sick and how difficult it is to get back to normal life. This honesty made the people love her even more. The Duke saw her strength and how much she reminds him of his own wife, who is also kind and humble. He thinks Catherine is the best person to represent the future of the family, but the palace has its own rules about who gets the best jewelry. There is a pecking order, or a list of who is most important. Usually the Queen gets to pick whatever she wants first. Queen Camilla has been very active in using this rule. She has been wearing some of the most famous crowns and tiaras that belong to Queen Elizabeth. She is showing everyone that she is the Queen right now and that she is in charge. She is not just sitting back. She is picking out the biggest and brightest diamonds to wear to all the big parties. But while Camilla is focused on the present, the palace is also secretly getting Catherine ready for the future. Over the last 2 years, they have been giving Catherine very special things to wear. Her favorite piece is a tiara that used to belong to Princess Diana. It is very famous and has many beautiful pearls on it. By letting her wear these things, the palace is telling us that Catherine is the one who will carry the monarchy forward. There is a big tension happening that the palace doesn't want to talk about. It's not just about two women wanting the same jewelry. It is about two different paths for the royal family. Camilla represents the way things are right now, but Catherine represents the way things will be forever. The king is trying to balance both of these things at the same time. But then, a funeral happened that changed everything. It was a funeral for the Duke's wife, and it was one of the most important events in 500 years. For the first time since the year 1500, a British king went to a Catholic church service on purpose. He went because he loved the Duchess of Kent so much. The king was very sad and crying during the service. Princess Catherine was right there by his side, comforting him and being his support. Every important royal was there to show their respect, except for one person. Queen Camilla was not there. She had to go to a different meeting with a president. This made people start asking questions. They wondered why the Queen wasn't there for such a big family moment. It made the Duke's choice to give the jewelry to Catherine seem even more important. Now you might be wondering, can the Duke really just give his jewelry to whoever he wants? The answer is yes. There are different kinds of royal jewelry. Some pieces, like the big crowns you see in museums, belong to the whole country. The king or queen can't sell them or give them away. But the jewelry the Duke has is his own private property. Because it came from his mother and the Russian princesses, he owns it just like you own your favorite toys or clothes. He can write in his will exactly who should get it. If he wants Catherine to have the diamonds, he can make it happen, and legally no one can stop him. The only question is if the people in the palace will respect his wishes after he is gone. Royal wills are usually kept in a secret safe for 90 years, so we won't be able to read it for a long time. But we will know what happened just by looking at what Catherine wears in the future. In late 2025, something very interesting happened. Catherine went to a big dinner at the palace wearing a tiara that was only supposed to be worn by queens. It had 2,600 diamonds and rubies on it. It was made for Queen Victoria a long time ago. Catherine was the first person who wasn't a queen to wear it in over 170 years. This was a giant sign from the palace. It was like they were saying, "We know she isn't the queen yet, but she is the most important person we have." This is because the royal family is worried. Recent surveys show that fewer people think the monarchy is important, especially young people. They know they need someone like Catherine to make people care about the royals again. Her battle with cancer and her kindness have made her a hero to millions. She is real, she is honest, and she is the person the people trust the most. Queen Camilla has done a good job too. She worked hard to make people like her after many years of being unpopular. Even Queen Elizabeth said she wanted Camilla to be called Queen. She has earned her place and nobody says she hasn't. But when you look at the numbers, Catherine is much more popular. Most people have a very positive view of her. The royal family has to think about the long term. They have to ask themselves who will make the next generation believe in the king and queen. And all the signs point to Catherine. Whether the Duke's wish is followed exactly or not, the message is clear. The future of the crown is being built around her. The Duke's secret confession is just one more piece of the puzzle that shows us where the family is going. The jewelry is still sitting in its cases, waiting for the next person to put it on. Each stone tells a story of survival and change. From the snowy palaces of Russia to the quiet schools in England where the Duchess taught music, these jewels have seen everything. They represent the strength of the women who wore them. The Duke of Kent is still alive and still watching over his family's treasures. He's a man of honor and silence, but his choice speaks very loudly. He wants the best for the family he has served for 60 years. He wants to make sure the history of his mother and his wife is kept safe by someone who understands what it means to be a true princess. This story is about more than just diamonds and gold. It is about a family trying to find its way in a changing world. It is about an old man wanting to do one last kind thing for a woman he respects. The palace might not say anything out loud, but the truth is right there for us to see. Every time Catherine steps out in a historic tiara, it is a win for the future. Every time she smiles at a crowd, she is proving that the Duke was right to choose her. The British monarchy is telling us its truth, and that truth is that Catherine is the star of the show. We really want to hear what you think about all of this. Do you think the Duke of Kent should be able to give his private jewelry to whoever he wants? Do you think Catherine is the right person to have the Russian diamonds, or should they stay with Queen Camilla because she is the queen right now? It is a very big question, and there are many different answers. Please drop your thoughts in the comments below. We love reading what you have to say, and it helps us know what stories you want to hear next. Also, if you found this story interesting, make sure to share it with your friends. The more people we have in our royal community, the better. The Duke of Kent has lived a life of quiet service, and his final decision is his way of making sure the light of the monarchy stays bright. He knows that jewels can be bought and sold, but the love of the people is something you have to earn. Catherine has earned that love, and that is why she is the one who will carry the weight of these historic treasures. The palace is still quiet, the jewels are still waiting, and the world is still watching. But the choice has been made, and the future is already here. As we look ahead, we can expect to see more of these hidden treasures coming out of the shadows. The royal family has many secrets, and jewelry is often the way they tell those secrets to the world. We will be right here to explain every sparkle and every stone to you. Thank you so much for watching Behind the Royal Veil. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of the Duke of Kent and his secret confession. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with everyone you know. We have so many more stories to tell you, and we can't wait to see you in the next one. Stay tuned, because the royal veil is always being lifted, and there is always something new to discover. The battle for the jewels might be happening behind closed doors, but the impact will be seen by everyone. Whether it's at a state banquet or a royal wedding, the pieces Catherine chooses to wear will tell us everything we need to know about who is really in power. The Duke of Kent has given her a gift that is worth more than money. He has given her a piece of history and his complete trust. That is something no one can take away from her. The monarchy is changing, and it is changing for the better. Catherine is leading the way, and she has the diamonds to prove it. Thank you for being such an amazing audience. Your support means the world to us at Behind the Royal Veil. We are dedicated to bringing you the best and most accurate stories from inside the palace. Every like, comment, and share helps us keep going and uncovering the truth for you. We will be watching the news closely to see when these jewels finally make their next appearance. Until then, keep an eye on the headlines and remember that there is always more than meets the eye when it comes to the royals. See you next time. As the sun sets on the Duke of Kent's long career, he can rest easy knowing he has done his part to protect his family. He has been a guardian of tradition and a friend to those in need. His wife, Catherine, would be proud of the choice he has made. Together, they have shown that being royal is about more than just a name. It's about the heart. And the heart of the British monarchy is in good hands with the Princess of Wales. The diamonds will continue to shine, the stories will continue to be told, and the legacy will live on forever. Goodbye for now, and keep looking for the truth behind the veil.